Okay, guys, thanks again for your coverage of the Hurricanes. We appreciate you. And again, I think the team has done a good job taking yesterday off and moving forward today. We had a good practice getting ready for Virginia. You know, obviously through all the disappointment of the last couple of weeks, it's really been about moving forward, and it's about supporting the seniors, and it's about doing everything that we can do to play a really good game against a Virginia team, obviously, that has played us well. Very impressed with David Wofford from Virginia. You know, he's 60% completion percentage. I think he leads the conference in completions. He's doing a great job. Escapability, can run. We might see some copycat runs from him from the last 2 weeks. But a guy that very impressive to me. Obviously, Jake McGee, a tight end, is a kid who's played well. I think he's got 36 catches on the year. Kevin Parks has done a great job running the ball and being downhill. Jennings Smith, Keon Johnson, a freshman, all those guys are doing an excellent job for them, and a big physical offensive line led by Morgan Moses. Very active on defense. Top 20 in takeaways. Sacks are up. Takeaways are up. Third down percentage is down. Doing a really nice job. 3 and outs is down. Obviously, those are all trademarks of John Tenuta on defense. Eli Harold doing a great job for him. 11 TFLs, I think 5 sacks or so. Henry Coley, 44, strong inside, real physical Mike linebacker. Romero, 13 is doing a nice job for them. Dean, 55, is doing a nice job. Moore and Snyder are doing a great job for them. And then obviously on the back end, Harris leads the country with interceptions. So again, it's going to be a great challenge for us on Saturday. And the biggest challenge is for us, for our team to invest and make sure that we support our seniors and send them off the way they deserve to be sent off.
Al, can you talk about the legacy of the senior class?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, you know, they stood with us. They stood with us when it was really hard. And I know it's, for the most part, it's over now, but there really wasn't many days where they could see, you know, the future in the last 2 years, the last 28 months. So those guys are really proud of them for the way they've delivered us through this. They've adopted somebody else's problem as their own. They fought through it. They resolved it, and they're allowing us to move forward now. And I just want to make sure that everybody in our organization understands how pivotal that was for us, and that we send them off the right way.
Now, as a former defensive coordinator, do you get more involved when the defense is struggling, or do you completely?
Again, I'm going to keep saying it, that I'm involved in every aspect of football here at the University of Miami. I'm responsible for it all. And right now we're not playing well enough collectively. Again, we had some good performances the other night. I indicated those to you on Sunday, I believe. But it's really collectively, it's not good enough, and I'm responsible for it.
Al, against the run, have you seen any difference in how you all have fared success-wise when you're lined up in the 3-4, which, as Mark said, you've been in more than half the time, compared to a 4-3? Have you seen any difference in looking at it?
Well, again, I think we had more success earlier in the year by continuing to be multiple, by lining up in both, by pressuring out of both, and we'll continue to do that. We need more TFLs, no question about it. We need more sacks, no question about it, and we need more takeaways. All 3 of those can be tied together. Not that they're always tied together, but all 3 of those can be tied together, and we need that kind of output to return.
Talk about Denzel. I mean, I think one of the leading tackles in the country. Just the season he's had, considering the way the rest of the defense sort of played the last couple of weeks.
Well, I think Denzel is starting to mature, and it really started. It started all the way back in April and May when we gave him his goal weights, and he looked at us like we were nuts, you know, because it was time for him to move forward in terms of his strength and his weight and his conditioning, and. So by August, he ended up, you know, making his goal weights and was still in condition. He still had his explosion, but he still wasn't practicing, Manny, the way he needed to. I think I shared this with you guys. And I brought him in after the first or second scrimmage, I can't remember now, and just he's really learned how to practice at a higher level. And it's a great testament to preparation, work ethic, and bringing it to the game. So I'm very excited about him. and I know he's excited about, the changes that he's making and will continue to make. And he's got a whole nother gear. If we're a stick shift, he's in third right now. He's got a whole nother gear to go to in terms of continuing to prepare, continuing to play fast, continuing now to make interceptions and to make all those, explosive plays, Manning, more caused fumbles, return fumbles, all those explosive plays, that are really, really personify what we're looking for from that position.
Are there personnel changes on defense that you're exploring and maybe
Yeah.
after third down, I know you bring in a lot of guys, but are there personnel changes that drastically?
Yeah, there are. To be quite honest, I can't get into all of them because we're playing an opponent. But there are some of them we released already on the depth chart, and that's really about as far as I want to go. Is if that makes sense to you, and saying that Renfro is going to play a little bit more outside, so Curtis, who played well last week, and Earl Moore can play more inside. I think that's an indication, and obviously Cornelder is on the depth chart now because he's going to get more reps. Jamal got a lot of reps today, Carter. So some of those guys are earning some reps and doing a good job in the roles that we're giving them. And so we'll see if some of those guys can't spark us or add something to it.
Okay, is part of that just go with some younger players to see what
No,
they can do? Or?
no, I am. It has nothing to do with their age, because the one thing that I want everybody to know, and as I told the seniors, we're going to support the seniors through this. Because we lost a couple of games now, I'm not going to just say all of a sudden turn my back on the seniors that, really stood with us through all this tumult. I'm not going to do it. But certain kids, I mentioned Jamal, Quan Muhammad, Kamala, for instance, Cornelder, they're earning reps, and they're earning reps because they're producing. It's just like Stacy. Stacy's producing, when he's in there, he's producing on kick and punt returns. And so now he's going to earn more reps. And it has nothing to do with, it's not that we're taking reps from any seniors. It's some of these guys have earned reps, and we're going to give them an opportunity. It's Tuesday, though, I mind you. They have to practice really well today, tomorrow, and Thursday to get those reps in the game, man.
What have you seen out of the young defensive tackles? Not just Earl, who you see on the depth chart now, but kind of that group as a whole. What sticks out to you?
Well, again, Jelani, Earl, and Corey all played for us last year, and all of them right now are down on the scout team, cultivating skills and everything, and that's what you really want. You want to have that where you're down there, you can grow, cultivate skills, get strong, get tough, and then obviously then you want to transition them onto the other field. But obviously Kamala is doing a really good job for us right now, which is he's coming on, and in terms of our depth, you guys know it's top heavy, so we're really recruiting the heck out of that position, and especially guys that can come in and help us right away. So because of how old some the guys are, Renfro and Luther and Curtis and those guys. Does that make sense?
I can appreciate if you wouldn't want to share this, but is Kamala's, is his future bulked up playing the nose, do you think?
No. He's more athletic. He'll play end. Maybe 3 technique. But he's definitely an end. He's 278, 280 right now. He's 6'5". So again, trying to bring him along, and he produced when he was in there the other day. So he's going to earn more reps this week.
I'm wondering about Justin Renfro. Obviously, he's going back to play his old team.
Yeah.
He's very happy being here, obviously. What has he meant to you and the team, and how has he...
Well, he's bailed us out. I mean, obviously, he's bailed us out. I mean, incredibly. I think everybody, it's well documented what we went through in recruiting last year. To be able to have him and Gilbert come has been huge for us, because we needed guys that can come and help us. Justin's a very inquisitive kid, very bright kid. He's brought some maturity there, not just physical but mental maturity there. And to be honest with you, he, whatever ways they parted on, we've really never talked about it. It's always been about what he's going to do to help us and getting a graduate degree at Miami and doing all that. It really hasn't been about where he's left. And even this week, he's just trying to get ready to play. He's not really talking about anything that's going on over there, although it's probably a little bit awkward. But we've all been there, So I think He's a very mature kid, and he's doing his job, and that's what he needs to do all week, not worried about any of the sideshow.
Hey, so much noise and, you know, honestly, probably a lot of misrepresentation about what you guys are trying to get done on defense and style of defense you're
Yeah.
trying to play and that sort of thing. Can you just clarify just exactly what the general mindset is of the kind of defense that you're trying to instill
Yeah.
here? Read and react, attack, both.
Yeah. There is never a day where we ever talk about read and react. I mean, there's not even, that's not even a mention. You know what I mean? Obviously, depending on where you are in the defense, you have a key and then you have to respond. That's defense. But we do not ever mention the word, Gary, read and react. We want to be a 3-4 because a 3-4 allows you to get more speed on the field at linebacker. It allows you to get in and out of under and over fronts, which are four down fronts. Again, I'm using different language, but allows you to play with 4 down or go to an odd front at any point. So it allows you to have speed, allows you to attack more. And again, interceptions are up, you know, takeaways are up, all, you know, sacks are up, all that's up, but it's not good enough, and it hasn't been good enough. So we have to continue to build it. We have to continue to build our depth. We have to continue to develop kids, but obviously we want to attack, and we want to be a dynamic defense. We want to be a defense that can fly around and disrupt the passer and get tackles for loss. Otherwise, you don't want to be in that configuration. So again, it hasn't been good enough. I hope I'm answering your question, but I want to make sure that everybody, that I'm answering your question and they know what we're trying to get done, and then B, you know, own the fact and confront the reality that it hasn't been good enough of the last, you know, couple of weeks for sure.
How long-term do you see Albudding being a defensive end, or maybe a 3-4 outside rush linebacker?
Yeah, I think, you know, that's kind of what he is right now. He's a rush linebacker for us, which is a hybrid defensive end, and I think he's going to be a really good one. You know, we need more depth there. He's got to continue to learn how to rush the passer, but he is dynamic. He loves football. You know, he's a freshman. You know, he's a freshman, and we got to continue to push him and get him to cultivate his skills. But we're glad he's here. He's really done a good job for us this year.
Are you able to sense in practice how effective he'd be against the run? Because obviously moving forward next year and beyond, you'll need him to play maybe first or second downs.
No, I think you're right on there because right now on the run days, like today, he's with the scout team because he really doesn't play for us on first and second down. Now he played a little bit more first and second down for us today, but you know, tomorrow he goes most of the time on the defensive field because it's all third down. Does that make sense? So can I get a sense of whether he can stop the run? Yeah, and he's down there. You know, he started the year in the 20s. You know, he's now closer to 40. He's going to be, you know, he's going to be a big man. He could, you know, he could be 250, you know, 252 by next year.
You see McCord is the same way.
Absolutely. Yep. And McCord has gotten better at Sam the last couple of weeks. He's getting better there, and then also he gives us the ability to go to a 4-down front like we do on third down a lot and come off the edge.
Yeah, let's follow up what I asked you before. How significant is choice of scheme in relation to execution? You know, like when coaches choose what scheme they want to implement, how significant is that choice in relation to week-to-week execution of whatever scheme is chosen?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you just summed up any coordinator or really any entity, right? I mean, you lay out what the philosophy is, you know, what you're trying to execute, and then ultimately it comes down to, you know, the execution of it. You know, I mean, it comes down to whether or not we're carrying out what we need to carry out in every one of those positions. And the problem with defense is, you know, you can get exposed if, you know, there's 9 or 10 guys doing it right on one play and one guy's not, number one. And then number two, when you have issues, you weaken other areas by trying to fix those. Does that make sense, Gary? So I don't think there's any question that in my career, I've seen just about every defense. I've been a part of a staff for just about every defense that you can have. And ultimately, it comes down to the execution of what you're trying to get done on any single play. That's it at the end of the day. But there's a million different things that we can call. And we look at that every day. We're evaluating that. We're evaluating our personnel. And we're making sure we're putting guys in the right position to execute and get their talent into the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess the other thing I would ask is when you chose this style of defense,
Yeah.
Why did you pick this style? What was the reason?
Because we didn't have a million defensive linemen. We didn't have 16 defensive linemen. So really, for the real big guys, the noses, you only needed a couple of those. So obviously, Porter, Earl Moore, we had to bring Renfro in, to have enough to go through the season. But we didn't have the depth on the defensive line. We had more linebackers, and we had more guys like Tyreek McCord that were a hybrid guy, if that makes sense. So again, I think it was the best decision for us, coming into this season, and we'll continue to personnel it, but we're going to have to continue to improve and continue to build depth and move forward with it.
Al, is this the time of year you start talking to some of the top juniors? I mean, Denzel Perriman obviously is one about staying here next year, not taking the cheese or whatever you say.
No, I think the only thing I ever do with the underclassmen is ask that they go through the process. Ask that they go through the entire process of getting their evaluation, sitting down with the appropriate people, doing it the right way, and ultimately it's always going to come down to them and their family. Our job is to support that process and make sure that they're doing it the right way, the agents are doing it right the way, and they're getting the right answers that they need from the NFLPA or general managers in the NFL in terms of where their grade is. But there's nobody here right now, Susan, discussing that. We have too much we got to do here in the next 12 days or so.
What can you expect? What are you expecting out of Philip?
I don't know. It's going to be close. Again, I think I'm pretty fair and consistent in terms of trying to give you guys an idea. And as I sit here today, I really don't know. Tomorrow we'll have a better idea. If we were playing tomorrow, I would say doubtful. Okay, but we'll have a better idea tomorrow. So I don't want to be coy. I don't want to play games. You know what I mean? It's right now I don't know.
Let me ask you about Artie Korn, Danny Zadora, Yellow.
Yeah, well, Danny, it's positive that he's yellow. Obviously, Stacy, we're very fortunate because he's already been integrated, so he'll be clear. So Stacy's is a positive, meaning he's moving forward. Danny is moving forward. Korn is moving forward. Artie, we had to protect today, so we'll know more about Artie tomorrow, and we'll know more about Philip tomorrow. But I don't think I have anybody else unless you guys have a specific question. Herb was fine. We were on our 7th returner in the game. We lost all of our returners. So that was difficult. And we needed some guys to step up, and they did. I think that's it on the injury front, guys.
Does he have the experience that he could really, if he is cleared and ready to go, that he could be just back close to where he was? Or?
Philip?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Philip is good. Philip's been working his tail off. Again, he was coming all last week, and he was in Sunday in the offices saying that he'll be ready to go. Again, we just got to be careful, not to go too fast. And, we have a couple of days yet, but hopefully tomorrow he'll be better than he was today. And he'll be ready to go. If he's not ready to go, we just, we're going to have to continue to have Rayshawn and Stacy and Herb and those guys step up and really hopefully chase the rabbit. The rabbit right now in that group is Alan Hearns. I mean, he's doing a great job for us.
Coach, the team's 2-8, but on defense, they've amassed up 17, 18 turnovers. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the challenges they pose?
Absolutely. Oh, no, there's no question. You look at third down efficiency for them. You look at first down efficiency. You look at 3 and outs, and you look at takeaways, and that catches your eye. Very gifted team on defense. Very talented team on defense. Again, they've played a really good schedule. So we don't really talk about records and all that. We look at schemes and personnel and try to lay it out for the guys, and we ask them every week to prepare the same way and trust what we're telling them, and I think they do. I mean, obviously they know they have to play really well, and we're playing a team that's done a really good job against us.
Yeah, about a month ago, I mentioned kind of laid out a challenge to Kevin Olson. That you
Yep.
needed to prepare better, you just needed to be better.
Yeah.
What have you seen out of him? I mean, we've seen him travel, obviously, the last couple of
No, I mean, I think he's starting to understand that he's going to wake up, when he comes back to school, and he's going to have to compete, and that if he's not putting all that money in the bank along the way right now, he's going to go backwards. So, every opportunity that he's in the film room with Steven and Ryan, he needs to listen, he needs to learn, he needs to take notes. Every time we're in a team meeting or when we go in that environment on the road, he needs to learn. All those things he has to learn now, to give him the best chance to compete with Ryan, but ultimately, you know, you want quarterbacks to the point where we're competing constantly. We have a smart team. We know where to go with the football. We're talking football. That's the one thing right now about Ryan and Steven. We're very, very fortunate. Two guys that can talk football the way they talk. They come into the meetings yesterday, our staff meetings on offense, and give you ideas based on what they saw in film. And it's very strong. It's not just throwing things out there. They have ideas and reasons why they're doing that. We need Kevin to develop into that as well.
How's that, it's just because they're older probably, right? And not, you know, Ryan and Steven, they know more.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, they know more, but I think Steven and Ryan have made a commitment to that process, everything that goes into that. So our biggest concern with Kevin was, you know, he has the physical, but our biggest concern was adhering to a process and learning how to do it, Susan. And because at the end of the day, to play quarterback, that process has got to be second nature. You know, you have to go in and tonight they have to go in and look at the third down reel for tomorrow. They have to go in and look at the red zone reel because we have to execute in those two deals. They have to be really good in our line of scrimmage checks. They have to make sure they're making the right mic calls on every play, and I can go on and on. But the reality is you can't play quiet, and that's the biggest difference in Ryan Williams. And I know you guys don't get a chance to see him, but that's the biggest difference in Ryan Williams right now. Ryan Williams is playing with a really quiet mind. He's confident. He's throwing the ball with great arm strength. He's done a great job physically, and we're really excited, you know, about his development.
You guys obviously had to deal with the NCAA stuff.
Yep.
while you were here, but this 3-week stretch, is this on the field wise the toughest stretch for you guys? You know, week to week.
It's disappointing, Manny, but I don't know how you compare it to what we've been going through. You know, it's disappointing, but you feel like you're in control of your own destiny. That other thing we had no control over, and it was just so toxic, you know what I mean? So our guys, I think the biggest thing to answer your question is our guys need to know and need to understand they're responsible for this. You know, that we're responsible. Everybody in the room is responsible for this, and we have an opportunity to fix it. Whereas the other issue, we really didn't have any opportunity to fix. And that's as honestly as I can answer that question for you.
Those are two other young defensive players just wanted to ask you about. Figs is a January arrival, so
Yep.
of the spring. Has he not been an every down player partly because Cornelius and Armbrust have beaten him out, partly because of injury? And then Kirby, I wanted to ask you about where Raphael stands.
Yeah, so Fig, again, he's a freshman. He's done a great job for us on special teams. Now he's been banged up, and he's out, obviously, right now. But Thurston and Tyrone played better than him. But again, Fig is going to continue to grow and develop and learn. And then Kirby, I like Kirby. I think Kirby's got a great attitude right now, and he's going to continue to grow, and he's going to have to take it over, you know, for Jimmy moving forward. And I think that's a challenge that he accepts. And he's learning how to play. And so that's the kind of transition you want. You want senior, sophomore, you know, and then, you know, so that's when you can start to, you know, move forward, because there shouldn't be that much drop off by the time Kirby's ready to go. But Jimmy's obviously ahead of him right now and holding him off. But Kirby's got to continue to grow and learn and move forward.
Al, I just want to make sure I got this right. I know tomorrow you're going to see how Philip progresses, but he is cleared, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And Coach, just a little more, you mentioned quiet mind. Is that what has benefited Allen Hurns?
No question.
More to it than that?
I mean, it's not just that. It's that right now we have guys like Allen Hurns. Brandon Linder is playing the best football right now. I mean, he is playing lights out right now. Brandon Linder is. And it's because he's still improving. He's still growing. I mean, he's doing great things right now on the practice field. He's carrying it over to the game. Allen Hurns is the same way. Wheeler is the same way. You know, obviously Shan Green is playing the best that he's played in his career. So, you know, the lesson for the younger guys is these guys are seniors, and we were watching the game from last year, and Allen doesn't even look like the same player. Allen right now doesn't even look like the same player. How quick he is in and out of breaks, his conditioning, his ability to play at a high level constantly, his focus, his toolbox. Well, Linder's the same way. He's playing with quick feet. He's playing with great balance. His second level cuts and his second level zone plays are better than Wheeler's the same way. So Cheyenne's the same way. So a lot of those guys are continuing to grow and improve. But certainly it's because they're playing with a quiet mind, and now they own those skills, and that's why it's really important that, you know, those guys continue to dig in and accept coaching.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys, have a great week.